Hey, and welcome to episode number 112 of the Brave Widow Show. Today, I want to talk about why joining a group coaching mastermind could be the best decision you've made yet. And for those of you that have been following along on social media, or if you're on my email list, you know I have been heavily promoting the Brave Widow Mastermind, which started today at the time of this recording on Monday, August 26th. And based on your feedback, based on some of the questions that have been coming in, based on some of the curiosity, I really wanted to take the time to explain what a mastermind is, why this is the best way for me to be able to serve and support you. First, I want to share that what I've created with the Brave Widow Mastermind and what I'm going to be walking widows through over the next 6 months in this cohort together is exactly what I wish I would have had 3 years ago when I lost Nathan. And I want to be clear that the mastermind is not just another grief group. It's not a place where we come together and just cry and it's sad and we're working on getting through grief and working on getting through the hard times. I think that's some of the misconceptions that people have is they feel like, well, I've gone to counseling. I feel better in a better place now from my grief. And so I don't know that I need to join the mastermind. And so I just want to clarify and provide some extra color into what the mastermind is, how it can support you, and how it really is a launching pad for you to be able to create a life that you love after loss. This is so much more than working on healing and the hurt and sorrow that you've experienced, although we will be covering some of that. It also is helping you move through the different stages of widowhood, which I covered in the What's Next webinar at a very high level, much more detail today in the mastermind. But in helping you really move beyond grief, moving into a stage of life where you are creating a life that you love again, where you are building up your social circle. You're trying new things. You're experiencing new adventures. You are trying to figure out who you are going to be now and how you're going to operate in this world. Like this program is going to set you up for so much success, whether it's starting a new job, becoming an entrepreneur, dating, forming healthy boundaries with family members, finding new people and making friends, testing out different interests. There's so many things that this program will help you with other than a traditional grief program, which is moving you from hurt to healing. So many of you know I've been promoting one-on-one coaching for a few months now, and I've had such an amazing experience with one-on-one clients. I am fulfilled. I am almost completely fully booked with one-on-one coaching clients. And before I reach my max capacity for time and the time that I have to spend with widows one-on-one, I really wanted to take a step back and look at number one, what do widows truly need and is most helpful to them? And number two, how I can scale my impact, how I can help more widows in less time, how we can really branch out and have this sense of community, of camaraderie, of we're all learning the same things together. We're all here supporting each other on this journey. And the mastermind was born. Now, I've been part of different masterminds over the years, and they all look a little bit different. They all have operated differently. Some have a hot seat, which doesn't sound very fun when you're talking about a widow coaching program, but I have taken the best things from each of those masterminds and each of those group coaching programs to create the Brave Widow Mastermind. I've been a part of different masterminds, and I'm currently in a group mastermind container. And here are my reasons why I would tell you that I prefer a mastermind program and when I would prefer a group coaching program versus one-on-one coaching. So when I go and look for a coaching program, whether it's a group coaching or it's one-on-one coaching, it's usually because I feel stuck or I feel that I've reached my capacity, like my limit for what I know to do next. When I joined the Faith Based Coaching Academy and that group mastermind and coaching and certification program, it was because I knew how to help myself through grief and I knew how to coach myself, but I had no idea how to help other people. I had kind of reached my limit in what I felt like I could do. So I decided to commit to that group coaching program. I ended up getting way more out of that program than I had expected. And the reason is you not only get to learn the material, you learn the content, you're working with a coach on your own personal goals, but you're also getting to see and experience other people in that community, other people that are learning the same things, that have the same or similar goals, that are there to support you. When I would first tell people that I wanted to be a life coach, I was embarrassed. I thought people were going to laugh at me. A lot of my family and friends, I think they didn't really understand what I was wanting to do. No one had ever heard about a grief coach or a widow coach before. And so there was support, but there was also a lot of doubt. And so, being part of that group coaching program, I was surrounded by other people who had the same vision, who shared the same belief that being a life coach is a wonderful thing. It's an amazing job. It is possible to make that your full-time career. And they were there to support and encourage me fully along the way. I also got to hear them get coached on their own challenges, on their own personal hurdles and things that they were going through. I got to see them share vulnerably what those things were and to see other people coach them through those specific challenges. So not only did I learn content, did I have the support of other people, but I got to hear other challenges maybe I had never thought of and to see them get coached through that and think about how I could apply that to my life, to my clients, or to different situations. I also got to be surrounded by this group of people that were just so open and humble, and there was no ego there. And for a group of women, sometimes that can be a challenge, especially in certain arenas, but there, everyone just genuinely and authentically was there to learn, to grow, and to help support each other on the journey. And that was so amazing. It was life-changing for me to have that experience. That was a 6-month program and an experience that I will remember the rest of my life. It was incredible. The mastermind that I'm in now, the reason that I joined it is because I wanted to learn a specific set of skills. I wanted to learn ways to automate, to improve the way I sell, to improve what my coaching packages look like, to improve how I'm connecting and resonating with other people, how I'm wording things in my email, where I need to focus on social media. Like all of that can be confusing and overwhelming. And if you Google or YouTube things, you're going to get information, but it's all over the place. Like people have so many different opinions. So I found my coach online, actually through another platform. I followed her. I listened to how she interacted with people. I listened to videos and watched videos she had out there. I saw what other people were saying about the program, and I knew that she was going to be able to help me. I knew her program was going to be able to help me. And I also knew I was going to be limited on time. It's difficult at times being a business builder and being a mom with 3 teenagers and crazy schedules to make sure that you have plenty of time to do all of the things. And so I knew I didn't necessarily need the intensive and the private setting of one-on-one coaching, but I knew I would gain a lot from being in that group coaching mastermind setting. And being part of that mastermind has just launched and propelled me forward so much more quickly than I would have been able to do it on my own. Could I have listened to her podcast? Could I have watched hundreds of videos from her? Could I have scoured the internet for all of her posts on social media and spent hours and hours and hours doing that? Yeah, of course. There's nothing she's teaching that you couldn't necessarily learn online. But the way the information is curated, the step by step process that she teaches, and the container where you can come, raise your hand, and get direct feedback and coaching, all of those things help me reach my goals way faster. I have a much clearer understanding of where I need to focus my time, what should be important as I'm trying to get the word out about Brave Widow, as I'm trying to support clients in my own group coaching program. Like I have just moved forward leaps and bounds than I ever could have on my own. And there's built-in accountability. So there are built-in checkpoints and built-in touch points where I know if I get behind, if I'm struggling in an area, my coach is going to reach out and she's going to check in on me and ask how things are going. Now, you've also heard me talk about having a speech coach, and my speech coach is one-on-one. And the reason I decided to invest in having a one-on-one coach is because specifically for my speech and my presentation that I'm giving coming up later this fall, I really wanted to spend the time and to spend the energy focused solely on me in my presentation. I didn't want to share airtime with anybody else. I didn't want to go through a program. I wanted somebody to hold my hand step by step through the process, get really intimate with what I was trying to create, and create something that is just going to be amazing. So in that instance, I wanted a one-on-one coach because I needed the handheld, the personal, the intimate, the privacy, just the airtime. Like I wanted an hour to myself every week that we could spend talking about what I needed to do next, specifically what the next step was, and I could move forward. For my group mastermind that I'm in, I didn't necessarily need that one-on-one coaching and support. Now, I might come to a point where I want more support or I want more airtime and I want more direct feedback from that coach. But for right now, the group mastermind is perfect for me. And I can listen to the replays, I can watch the videos, I can click the links to get access to the resources, I can implement immediately. I'm not struggling with, what should I do next? I'm not sure what my next step is. So, having shared all those examples, and I have more. I've had other one on one coaches, I've had other group masterminds, but for simplicity's sake, a group coaching program, a mastermind program, this was born out of a desire to create a very curated process, A to Z, to take you through all of the systems, the strategies, the tools and resources, and the mindset items that I coach my clients on one. But by offering it in a group setting, not only do you get intense coaching every single week, it's 2 hours every week, you get that sense of community, of camaraderie, of we're all in this together. And you get the opportunity to hear other people bring up their questions, their challenges, their issues, all of those things. So if you're not someone that likes to speak up in a group, or you're not even sure what question to ask or how to ask it, a lot of times the questions that get asked or the issues that get brought up are probably things that you're struggling with too, or at least things that you could determine what applies to you and how you could implement it in your life. I love the energy, the community, the environment of being in a group. I've always really enjoyed group coaching. And so I'm so excited to be able to offer that now in the Brave Widow Mastermind. Now, we had our first session yesterday, which is really today. But by the time you hear this, it's going to be yesterday, August 26th. That doesn't mean that it's too late to join. If you want to join, though, I highly recommend that you set up a consult call with me. I'm going to put the link in the show notes so that you can easily do that. And the reason is I really want to spend time with you understanding your specific challenges, what your goals are, if you have some goals, and I want to walk you through exactly how the mastermind could help support you and serve you in reaching those goals and overcoming some of those very specific challenges. I would love the opportunity to hand walk you through all of that. So, for our next step, I'm asking that you schedule a free consult with me. Listen, it's an hour, it costs you nothing. I never leave a consult feeling like I wasted my time or, oh, this person decided not to buy right now. That was just, why did I spend all my time and energy and effort in that? I never think that. I am here to serve you. And listen, regardless of whether you decide to move forward with the mastermind, which I think you should, but if you decide it's not the right time or you want to think about it, just know that you are going to get value out of that call. I am going to leave you with very specific recommendations on what I would do as your exact next steps as you move forward. That's the number one question that I get is I don't like what is next? What am I supposed to do next? What direction do I go? I'm just unclear how I can actually move forward. And in this mastermind, one of the amazing things that I've learned from my current mastermind is at times it's very difficult to track progress on something that's intangible. And what I mean by intangible are things like confidence, relationships, having a sense of routine and calm, having a sense of purpose and meaning. Like sometimes it's hard to measure where you are and if you've made specific improvements in those areas. But in the mastermind, that is exactly what we track. And we are going to put a number to it so that it's measurable and it's tangible on something that typically you would think is intangible. So, what in the world is a mastermind? All right. So, in the mastermind for 6 months as a group, we all hop on Zoom 2 hours every week. 2 hours. The first hour, I'm going to educate, I'm going to share insights, I am going to teach you all of the systems that I use in the Brave Widow Mastermind. I'm going to simplify it, I'm going to boil it down, I'm going to take complex topics and chunk it all up for you so that it's simple, it's easy to navigate, and you can start implementing it and applying it to your life that week. Okay. 2 hours every week. The first hour we educate. The second hour we do live Q&A coaching. So if you want to be coached, you would raise your hand and then you could explain your situation, ask a question, talk about a challenge, get direct feedback from me, and walk away again with what your next exact step should be from that coaching session. But wait, there's more. So in the mastermind, we have private forums and a private community where you can talk to other masterminders. You can give updates. You can share pictures. You can share a voice message. You can send a video. You can interact and connect with other widows that are on this journey. You also have access to all the amazing things in the Brave Widow community, like courses that I have already created, past calls, workshops, webinars that are in there, more than you could ever desire. And you will get materials and tools that I use with my one-on-one coaching clients on a routine basis. I love one-on-one coaching. If you're one of my clients, I love you so much. It's one of the most rewarding and fulfilling things that I do. And also in a one-on-one coaching container, you don't always get to hear the breakthroughs, the achievements, the problem solving that other widows go through on their journey. And maybe it's something that you could apply to your life. Maybe it's something that you might come across in the future. But just seeing some of the breakthroughs and the growth that other widows have is so super exciting and inspiring. And it's just amazing. If you've not been part of group coaching or mastermind, you should do it. You should totally join the Brave Widow Mastermind. It is amazing. All right, so let's talk about some emotional and psychological benefits of being in a mastermind. One is that you build self-trust and confidence. This is one of the core pillars and one of the modules that I will be teaching in the Brave Widow Mastermind. And I just want to share that I've had widows in the Brave Widow community that have become a published author. I have a widow that never thought she would date and marry again that ended up getting remarried. There's another widow I worked with on significant career changes. Another widow who wanted to navigate moving into a new house when she had so many memories and kind of some guilt about leaving her old house. There are other widows who are doing things that they never thought, they never imagined themselves doing, they never thought possible. They didn't even know if that's something they would want to do in the future. And it's just so inspiring when you get to see people like that in the community who are changing their lives, they're changing themselves, and they are making an impact on the world around them in a really deep and meaningful way. The second emotional and psychological benefit of being in a mastermind is that you get to overcome isolation. One of the biggest challenges widows face is feeling unseen, unheard, not validated, and just really abandoned. And it can be really difficult for someone who's never had to navigate grief or who's never been widowed before to even vaguely understand what you've been through, how that has impacted you, and how they can best support you. So, having a support group of other widows who can walk that journey with you, who see you, who hear you, who want you to be part of this community and process, that is so much good medicine for your soul. Having a support group and network of people that understand your unique challenges and who show up for you, who encourage you, who are there for you when everything goes wrong, it's so incredibly valuable. Even for my one-on-one coaching clients, I encourage them to connect with each other. I encourage them to come to our heart-to-heart hangout calls. I encourage them to go to local grief groups or grief share groups or local widow groups because it's really important that as you're rebuilding your social circle, at least part of the people that you add to that understand in their own way the journey that you've been on, that see you, that see the resilience in you, and who share that universal language of pain and hurt. When I meet another widow, there is an exchange that happens that isn't even spoken, but it's just the recognition in someone else's eyes to me that says, I see you, I understand what you've been through in your own way. And there's just something so comforting and rewarding about that, in knowing that you don't have to explain yourself a lot of times. You just get to talk and you get to laugh together because you get to talk about all the crazy way things that people do and say, and the things about your spouse that used to drive you crazy. But you can talk about your late spouse. Nobody's going to be tired of hearing it. Nobody's going to tell you to move on and get over it. Like, they are there for you and for all of it. And that is amazing. The third emotional and psychological benefit of being in a group mastermind is accountability and motivation. So every week we have a process where members check in. We have a very quick, brief form, that a progress tracker, if you will, that people go in and fill out every week. And I monitor that every week. So every week I'll be seeing how you're rating, how you're doing in different areas. And that allows me to know where I might need to jump in, where I might need to provide additional support, or where you just might need a little extra TLC that week. It also helps you see just how far you've come. By tracking your progress, you can see where you were when you started, some of the initial goals that you had, and then ultimately where you end up. A lot of times I have clients that look back on their progress tracker from 3 or 4 weeks ago, and they're like, wow, my scores now are so much higher than they were. Or, yeah, I forgot. I did accomplish this goal, and this goal. That's amazing. So, having that motivation to keep going is really critical. And we build this container in such a way that not only is it motivating to keep going, but there's some accountability that you don't lose focus in what it is you came to work on, what some of your goals are, and how you can continue to move forward. All right, now let me share 2 practical benefits to being in a mastermind group. The first one is a structured path to progress. So, when I started the Brave Widow membership community, I knew that widows would be coming in at all different stages. And so I really built it like a subscription model that was very a la carte. So there was a course for how to meet people and make friends. There was a course for navigating brain fog. There's multiple courses, multiple workshops, webinars, calls, all of those things in the community. And my thought at the time was this is really a great model because people can come in and they can decide where they are and what they really needed help with. So if somebody wasn't battling brain fog anymore, maybe they don't need that course, but maybe they needed the course on how to make friends. Or if someone already had rebuilt their social circle, then maybe they wanted to take the course on setting goals even while you're grieving. Who knows? I believed that people could come in, determine where they are, what they needed as their next step, take that course, participate in the calls to get coaching, and they would be well on their way. And while I don't think that's a bad approach, a lot of membership models are that way. I also realized that when I offered one-on-one coaching, I had a great rise in demand for one-on-one coaching. So much demand that my one-on-one coaching practice is reaching my time capacity for what I can do to support people one-on-one. So, taking a step back and looking at the different packages and the different containers of what I offered, I realized that most widows want a step-by-step process, a curated path, a blueprint, if you will, of how to navigate not only grief, but moving forward, of creating a life that they love again, of figuring out who they are again, and all of those things. They wanted somebody to walk them side by side on this journey and help them through the process of figuring out what is next. So, in the mastermind, you will have access to everything in the community. If you want to take the a la carte approach, you absolutely can. What I'm teaching in the mastermind is brand new content. It's core systems, tools, and strategies that I use with my one-on-one coaching clients. And how I'm going to frame these up is by following a step-by-step A to Z type model where I will walk you through content that builds on top of itself. So that as you're moving through the content, you can identify where you may have gaps, where you may have things that you can implement, where you may have ideas for things that you could try that you hadn't thought of before, and you can start implementing those right away. You don't have to wait. You can learn and implement that very same week. The mastermind is a roadmap that will take you from where you are to where you want to be. And guess what? Even if you don't know where you want to be, because you haven't figured that out yet, we're going to get you there. We are going to get you there. I will move you forward. You will move yourself forward in 6 months in being part of this mastermind. Like, just think for a minute. Imagine February 2025. How much different your life could look if you participated in 2 hours of coaching every single week in learning new strategies, tools, resources, all of those things, and being able to implement that. You would go so far in 6 months, like so much further than if you walked that on your own. The second practical benefit of joining a mastermind program is networking and building connections. So not only in the mastermind will you have this sense of community, this sense of camaraderie, but you can form relationships and friendships that last forever, not only during the mastermind, but even beyond the mastermind. Several of my clients are Facebook friends. They talk about meeting up in person. They talk about traveling together. They talk about going to the gym together. Like, there's just so many benefits to being in a group of like-minded people who are on a journey to the same place. It's a great way to build up your social circle and to find people that you can trust, people that are there for you, people that accept you for the way that you are. They're not looking for you to change back to who you used to be in the past, but they are there to accept you and to be connected with you. They want the same things. All right, who should join the mastermind? Listen, If you feel stuck, if you feel that you don't know what the next step is, if you are trying to navigate and figure out this crazy new life, if you feel lonely, if you want to create something new or different, if you want to build confidence, if you want to be part of a group that's going to help propel you forward, if you want a coach, you want to be coached, you want someone in your corner who's fighting for you every single day and giving you direct feedback on what you need, then the mastermind is perfect for you. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on coaching. I went through and added it up about a week ago, how much I've spent on coaching for myself for different things. And it's well in the tens of thousands of dollars over the past few years. The great news is you don't have to invest that much, but you are going to benefit from me having spent that much to boil down and to teach you all of the things that I have learned that helped move me forward as a widow, that have helped me get past guilt and regret and yearning and the hurt and trauma of past pain and loss. The thought models that I've learned with life coaching and how we move people forward and how we discover our purpose and find ourselves and create something new and beautiful. You are going to get the benefit of everything that I've learned, of the hours and hours and hours of coaching that I've done to help other widows to see them progress and move forward. I've seen widows go from being reclusive and resentful and hurt to, in a period of 2 or 3 months, being the person who asks someone to go out to lunch, who goes and joins a new group, who tries out new hobbies, signs up for a new class. I have a widow who, I have a client who is changing years of generational trauma and family dysfunction, who was brave enough to stand up and say, I'm not going to continue to pass this down to my children. I am going to have open and honest conversations. We're not going to shove things under a rug. I'm not going to be passive aggressive. I'm not going to shut people out when what I need to do is to draw them back in. And that is hard. That is hard work. But I've seen widows accomplish so many just great, amazing, incredible things that I know this program is designed, that I know this program can help you too. And the way that I've thoughtfully designed it, the way that I've created so much accessibility to you in a group coaching container, if you will just show up, participate, and implement as much as you can, you are going to move forward so much faster. I want to share with you a couple of my own examples. I worked with a one-on-one coach for a period of 2 months because I wanted to learn how to sell my own one-on-one coaching packages. And I went from being a nervous wreck on consult calls to being able to sell coaching packages in the multiple thousands of dollars, all within a period of 2 months. When I went through my life coach certification mastermind program, I went from having my own hurt and healing that I needed to do and not knowing what resources to recommend people, what answers to give people, and feeling so ashamed and embarrassed and small because I didn't want to post on my LinkedIn that I was a life coach because people wouldn't think that's a quote unquote real job. I went from that to within 6 months boldly hosting webinars, pitching coaching, pitching the Brave Widow community, telling everyone I met, I'm a life coach or I'm a grief coach or I help widows. I can help you too, to really embodying the type of coach and the type of person that I wanted to be. I did all of that. It felt like my whole life was changed in many ways. In knowing how to equip people and knowing how to guide them through grief in a 6-month period. What can happen for you in 6 months? The reason I'm really leaning into this and the reason I wanted to take an entire podcast episode for it is because I think people really don't grasp how much a mastermind program can help them. So bear with me for just a couple of minutes. If you're alone in a safe space, just close your eyes for a minute. If you're driving, please don't close your eyes. Okay, maybe save this part for when you get home. If you're mowing the lawn, if you're doing something else, like just wait until you can sit by yourself and until you can really reflect, okay? But just for a moment, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. One more deep breath in and one more deep breath out. And just for a couple of moments here, let your heart slow down, let your nervous system calm. And I want you to imagine what it is that you want for yourself in your future. Maybe it's to not cry yourself to sleep every night. Maybe it's to have confidence in yourself, in your ability to make decisions, in your ability to do things like travel, take on new hobbies, meet new people. Maybe it's freedom from judgment of other people. Maybe you want to develop new relationships, whether that's friendships, whether it's companionship or dating. Maybe you want to move past fear. Fear that if you heal, if you move forward, that you might want to meet someone again, or you might want to have friendships again, but those people might hurt you. They might try to walk all over you. And you're afraid of getting caught back up into that vicious cycle again. Maybe you want to feel that life is worth living, that it's not pointless, but that there's a purpose for you. There is a sense of meaning, and that you're able to make a positive impact somewhere out there in the world. And maybe right now, you don't even know how that's possible. You don't know if you can ever feel like something really lights you up again on the inside, or if your capacity for happiness is always going to be dulled. If life is always going to feel kind of gray and you're going to walk around the rest of your life like a hollow shell of the person that you were. Maybe you want to feel connected. You want to feel seen and heard, and for people to just give a crap about what happens to you. For someone to care how your day went. For someone to call you up and say, hey, let's go to this concert together. Let's go to this movie together. Let's try out this new place. For you to finally feel that you fit in somewhere. Whatever it is that you're wanting for your future, that you want to see for your future self, this mastermind program will help move you forward. 6 months from now, does that mean life is perfect and we flipped a switch and grief is no longer a thing and you have everything you could ever want? No. But it means 6 months from now, you will have improved your confidence. You will be on the path to developing new relationships, to having healthy boundaries, to knowing how to hold your own boundaries, to having a routine that feels peaceful and calm and not crazy and chaotic, to feel valued and worthy and heard, to feel that you've not been forgotten. There is still a plan for you. And part of this crazy journey is figuring it out. I am all in with you in this mastermind program. I'm in the community every day. I'm watching your progress week over week. I'm coaching people every week, and I want to coach you too. I want to help you too. So if you want to learn more about the mastermind, and you should, okay? I'm not always bossy on this podcast, but I'm going to be bossy right now, and you can open your eyes. But you should learn more about the mastermind. You can go to bravewidow.com or bravewidow.com/mastermind. And if you're interested, if you're on the fence, if you think, well, I don't think this is for me, I'm not really sure, schedule a consult with me. I'm opening up times more than I normally would to be available for consults so that you can find a time to speak with me. Don't feel like you're wasting my time. Don't feel like hopping on a call with me is pointless. You will get value out of the call that we have one-on-one together, and I'm not going to pressure you to sign up. My goal is not to make you feel bad or to feel like, oh, you got on this call with me, you have to sign up. My goal is to serve you, and my goal is to make sure that you get to walk away with some sort of value after that call and that you can have more clarity around what the right next step for you is. And when you're ready for the mastermind, or you want even more intensive one-on-one coaching, I will be here. I will be here to serve and support you. But just imagine 6 months from now, if you continue to do what you're doing now, where will you be? If you join the mastermind 6 months from now, what different place will you be in? What different mindset will you have? It really is an incredible experience, and I'm inviting you to join me. To learn more about the mastermind and to sign up for a consult, go to bravewidow.com/mastermind. If you're a widow struggling to move forward and you want clarity and direction on your exact next steps, the Brave Widow Mastermind is the perfect program for you. In the Brave Widow Mastermind, you are going to move from stress and chaos to routine and calm. You'll build confidence in yourself and your decision making, gain clarity and direction to get unstuck, and track your progress to see the results for yourself. Go to bravewidow.com to join the mastermind or learn more.